Only a few isolated showers on radar today. Over the last hour or so, most of that rainfall has been a little bit more south of Morgan City toward the coast, so lower Terrebonne and in the Gulf waters. A drier Just kidding, I'm back. And it was not my fault. My button does not send us into a commercial break. Just because I was making fun of you earlier, Aaron, our director, maybe? Mostly sunny skies outside. I thought maybe I was doing something wrong. A few showers or a few clouds associated with those showers down along the coastline. But it was a less humid day today, and I'll explain why that is in just a moment. 65-degree dew point on the South Shore, not bad at all. Humidity is only at 43% and a little bit of a breeze. Notice the wind direction east-northeast, so we have a wind somewhat out of the north. That does help to bring in some drier air that was just up to our north. Now, this time of the year, dry air still warms more efficiently. We didn't really get into cooler air, so generally upper 80s or low 90s, but with that less humid air, there isn't much of a heat index at all, and dew points in the 60s does feel much nicer. And it looks like we're going to stay there through the day tomorrow, somewhat into Thursday, although the humidity will be slightly increased by the end of the week and start of the weekend. And then it looks like we may get another kind of weak front to lower the humidity briefly on Monday, and that's in pretty good agreement on both sides of the lake. Now, I think what helped to lower the humidity wasn't really a front per se. We've been talking about the fact that we've had dry air across much of the southeast, with the exception of right along the Gulf Coast. Well, we had a little disturbance within this upper trough move on through, and I think that extra little push is what helped to lower the humidity. Again, the dew points are much lower and widespread in the 60s, but we did not get into any cooler air. We're still in the upper 80s or 90s, where you do find some cool spots across the deep south. It's associated with cloud cover and rainfall like we see over parts of Alabama. For us, though, there is a little weak disturbance that may try and send some rainfall our way tomorrow, but the models are not in great agreement with those rain chances. I'll put the mention of about a 10% chance. This model, our high resolution, a little bit more aggressive with maybe about a 20%. I don't think we're going to see a lot of rainfall, especially if we hold on to that dry air. I think rainfall is going to be very difficult to come by. Out in the tropics, we've been mentioning, I'll continue to watch areas in the Gulf and offshore Atlantic waters for possible development. The model's not aggressive, not very aggressive with that occurring. Where they are a little bit more aggressive at this wave of potential development in the main development area of the Atlantic. We are going to have days to watch this system, and the models are in pretty good agreement of about where it's going to go. Euro a little closer to the islands, but both indicating another break in the upper high, allowing this one to stay out over the open Atlantic waters and not threaten land at all. Now, from the Climate Prediction Center, they do those forecasts that go out 2 and 3 weeks. They're highlighting areas out in the Atlantic as well as in the Gulf or maybe the Atlantic waters as we get into that next week. I don't really see anything happening then, but some of the models are indicating maybe something trying to get going in the Gulf as we get closer to kind of the late teens and 20s of September. That's still 3 weeks away, so we've got a lot of time to watch it. But definitely you're expecting more development across the basin as we get closer to the peak of the season and then throughout September, which is the busiest month. So about a 10% chance of showers on Wednesday. We'll stay mostly dry, but a little bit hotter as we head toward the weekend. Weak front will increase our rain chance, a little less humid on Monday, but we'll keep the mention of some spotty showers even going into early next week.